All right, 2 weeks ago we got some baby chicks. They came through the mail. You can go back and watch those videos if you want. Anyhow, they've been sitting in the brooder in the garage for actually 2 weeks, and today will mark 3 days, 2 weeks and 3 days. So we took them out last night, put them into the Justin Rhodes inspired chicken tractor. Not exactly like his, but this is what we run our meat birds in now. And if you can hear the chirping from behind me, that's where these guys are right now. Today is Sunday, my birthday, by the way, so I can't think of a better gift than doing the kind of work that I think God put me on this planet to do, and out here getting these guys introduced to their new home. So they spent last night in here, and they did exceptionally well. So let's just talk about what we did here. So these guys are going to be squeamish about wanting to leave here. So we're going to have to kind of nudge them out. But right in front of the entrance, we have the things they need, like chick grit. They're going to see things that into their little eyes they've never seen before. Things like grasshoppers, all green. This is just like coming out of Plato's cave for them. So these guys are in a place that for them is going to be a wonderland once they figure it out. So we got the grit, we got some water with some of the chicken additives in here. And then we also have, as close as we can to the entrance, we got their food. They're still their chick grit. Now, like I said, they're 2 weeks old, roughly 2 weeks and 3 days old. 2 weeks from now, they will actually make the transition into the chicken tractor on steroids. But they're not quite ready for that yet. So with that, like I said, I'm not expecting them to just jump right out of here, because today's going to consist, if you'll notice, their chirping kind of went down a little bit. And these guys are in here like, okay, hey, what's up with this? This is our new world. Now, what we have inside, we got a tarp laid down on the bottom. And then on top of that, we got wood chips. Now, in the past, we've used straw and, some other things we could find. There's a reason for that, because we're going to actually call an audible in this version of the chicken tractor on steroids. We're not going to be focused so much on producing compost as we are, well, compost might be a byproduct of it. We're going to be doing a few more experiments along the way in this one. But the cool thing about it is, the last time we essentially raised birds without any cost to us whatsoever. In fact, we put money into our pockets and put meat into the freezer. We're going to do it even better this time, and we're going to adapt it for the things that we have that we are in need of right now on this farm. So these guys are going to basically work within this area that in the past, if I could find it, I would use it. We would use snow fence. I came up with that in Texas when I was doing this on the job. We used snow fence, and the holes were small enough to where these guys couldn't get out. We would use snow fence in addition to the electro net. So any would-be predator that wants to taste a little chicken, they get zapped by that, but also the non-conductive snow fence would keep them from getting out. But in this case, we came up with a little method a long time ago where when they're this small, they can actually get through this fence no problem. But we double up the fence, and you can't even triple it up if your fence is long enough. We double up the fence to where these guys, through that, the holes aren't exactly going to be lined up, and it's going to create more of a psychological barrier than anything. Now, there's a small chance that a few of them may get out, and we'll deal with that, but for the most part, they generally stay within here. Now, if you look at these guys, they're kind of curious, thinking, okay, man, do we really want to get out of here? Or we're pretty comfortable in here, but they've been fasting all night. Haven't had anything to drink, had any water, no food, no nothing. So I'm going to get behind them, and I'm going to take an intermediate fence post or something, and kind of encourage them to want to get out. But now, this is only when the work starts, because for the next 3 days to get them to go back in, remember, this is all new to these guys. So every night in the evening for at least 3 days, that's usually how long it takes to train a chicken to go back in. 3, and then you'll have a couple of knuckleheads you'll have to drag in, in subsequent nights. But we'll basically kind of lead them back in, and in some cases just put them in. And then after 3 days, they'll kind of figure out how they get in and out of this thing. Then we just shut the door on them. So in this case, we don't want to use an electric door, because of a whole bunch of different variables. In the future, that may be something we elect to do, but meat birds are a little bit different than your layers when it comes to working within this system. They seem to be a little bit more hard-headed. So with that said, I think I've done enough talking and explaining at this point. We're going to open up the back and kind of get them out the front. right, so these guys are out. They're doing what the chicks do. They're, engaging in all the things these little guys are going to do. And, yeah, calm down. So they're still really, really cute at this point. And you know what? Just for GP, it's a new waterer, so I'm just going to dip his beak a little bit. There you go. The cool thing about using these feeders right now is in inclement weather, if it decides to rain, and it does just about every other day here, I can take this thing. It has enough clearance under here to where these guys can still eat and do what they need to do. And even if they're inside, there's a tarp on the bottom that's capturing all the bedding that they have that we're going to subsequently use in the chicken tractor on steroids. And if you want to go back and watch how we did it before, that's fine, but we're going to do it all over again, and we're going to do it even better. So these guys are outside and just loving life once they kind of get over being rattled after having been outside. So with that said, until next time, this is Billy, the Permaculture Pimp Daddy from Perma Pastures Farm, where PIMP stands for Permaculture is my passion, because it really is. We'll see you next time.